And so the formalities completed. We're almost set to go here. Another quick look at the Argentinian side that lines up this afternoon. And this is a most inexperienced side. As I mentioned before, only 3 of these players have had 10 or more caps. The most experienced is number 3, Diego Cash, with 32. Pablo Garriton, the captain, has had about 19 caps. And Diego Cuesta Silva, the left wing 3/4, is an experienced player. Australia have had a very settled side all year. The stars to watch for Australia: David Campese on the left wing side, Michael Leiter and Nick Farr-Jones at half-back and first 5/8, and in the forward pack, the tough front row of Daly, Cairns and McKenzie, and the dynamic flanker, Willie Ofahingawe. David Bishop of New Zealand is today's referee. And in fact, Dave Bishop today becoming New Zealand's most capped international referee. This will be his 14th international, and he now takes over as the leading New Zealand referee from Pat Murphy, who refereed 13 test matches in the 60s and 70s. Assisting Dave Bishop will be fellow New Zealander Keith Lawrence and Patrick Rabanne from France. So Australia go into this match as hot favourites, Jamie Salmon, and one would expect after perhaps a slow start that they'll take charge of this match fairly early.
Yes, they'll be looking for the first 20 minutes really to impose themselves, and I can see them launching the back row, Poidevin, Ofahingawe and Eales into the Argentinians and really pushing them around and turning them around.
So Michael Leiter to get this match underway for Australia in glorious conditions at Stradey Park, and the first kick is made by Abisu, and already it's going to be an attacking line out for the Australians. Number 7 there is Willie Ofahingawe. Simon Poidevin running off the back, number 6, and Australia just 18 metres out from the Argentinian line. Referee Bishop making sure that the gap is in the line out, and it's Phil Kearns with the throw, tapped by Rod McCall. Tony Daly, number 1, takes it in. Australian forwards driving the blue and whites back 15 metres from the line. They're staying on their feet. Good solid mauling here by Australia. Ofahingawe has it there, number 6 Poidevin reaching in for it. This is ominous stuff for Argentina as Australia charge up. They're getting very close to the line here, holding it up nicely, and finally referee Bishop, as they go to ground, calls for the set scrum. That's an impressive start by the Australian forwards.
Absolutely, they must have made 30 yards or so there, and they've all got a touch, they've all got some physical contact, and this first scrum will be very testing for Argentina.
So the scrum to be set again by Bishop. Just a minute and a half gone in this game, and Argentina defending, and we have an injury break here. Referee Bishop just checking the mark and now going back to see who in fact has received the injury. So Australia come into this match with a slightly heavier forward pack, but if one thing that Argentina can do, and that is scrummage pretty well. They have good technique.
Absolutely, certainly Cash and Mendes are probably their 2 best forwards in terms of technique and in terms of ability. There's probably about 15 years apart between the 2 of them, but Mendes has proved himself to be a top scrummager, and obviously Cash, with over 30 caps to his name, knows what it's about. But this will be a worry for Australia if this injury goes on, because they want to get on with this.
Diego Cash on the far side there. He's a former Argentina hooker, as a matter of fact. Moved out to tight head prop. Federico Mendes there on the right. He's the loose head prop. Just 19 years of age. Played his first international game at the age of 18. So back we go to this attacking scrum.
It'll be interesting if Australia go for quick ball here or go for a forward momentum. I think they'll probably want to give the backs a run.
Farr-Jones feeding the scrum. Held in the back by Eales. Good scrum here by Australia. Edging up towards the line, just 2 or 3 metres short. Then Argentina applied the pressure. Here it is for Horan, number 12. Pass put on the ground by Farr-Jones and knocked on. So Argentina repulsed that challenge. Nick Farr-Jones running onto the pass from Tim Horan, spilled it forward, and Argentina get the next put into the scrum. this game in Pool 3. The other sides in this pool, Wales and Western Samoa. Held in the back by Carreras. Camadon gets it back to Arbizo. Charge down, here's a chance. But in fact it's been forced by Argentina, rather luckily. And they scramble it out for a 22 dropout. Arbizu's kick was charged. And it was a question of where it bounced, and unfortunately for Argentina went to one of their players. Sandro Arbizu. Ball being contested well by Argentina. Carreras is the number 8 forward with the dark hair, longish dark hair. And the kick made by Arbizu, and that's the first time really that Argentina have been able to breathe easy as Lisandro Arbizu clears. There appears to be yet another injury, this time to an Argentinian player, but Pablo Garreton slowly to the back of the lineup, but he's okay. John Eales has really arrived on the international rugby scene, a magnificent leaper. And there's a good example for you. He's playing at number 8 today, but he's standing up close in the line-out. That was a lovely leap. And Argentina, I think, are going to struggle in the line-outs, the height of these Australian players.
Yes, they've got 3 renowned line-out men, Coker, McCall, and obviously Eales. And I think Argentina will struggle. But it'll be interesting how Eales moves up and down the line, and who jumps to the back.
Phil Kearns to throw, right on halfway. No score in the game. And a free kick has gone against Argentina. An infringement in the line-out. Now, Michael Lynagh may use the Grant Fox tactic here of kicking down the touchline but not out. In fact, I think he was probably aiming for touch there and just made a bit of a hash of it. And the clearing kick is a good one from Laborde. Noticed yesterday in the New Zealand-England game that the players weren't always timing their punts well.
No, it was ironic how many touches were missed yesterday. The balls aren't very popular, but we're going to live with them.
Argentina called a short and a quick line out that time. And some fairly vigorous rucking going on there. Two of the Argentinian players launching themselves in over the top. And so let's see how this Argentine scrum holds up. It's Argentina's ball. Gonzalo Camadon, who was rated very, very highly in Argentina. Many people say that this youngster, he's only 20 years of age, will ultimately be the best halfback Argentina has ever had. And there's enormous pressure in there. Australia have possibly the best front row in the world. Daly, Kearns and McKenzie. Camadon. Gets away from Far Jones. Did it well too. Coming down about the 10-metre line, Roebuck in to meet it. Almost claimed by Laborde, the new man in the side. Argentina have it through Garreton, but there was an infringement. It was knocked on by Argentina.
Good chasing by Argentina. They got the high ball. They unfortunately then lost it straight away, but they're in Australia's half.
Taken off the back by Eales. Far Jones going down the blind side. Good run by Far Jones. Roebuck is in. Roebuck through. Offengarwe is there. Lobs it across, and Campese getting close, and David Campese scores Australia's first try at the World Cup. The world record holder takes his tries and tests to 41, and that was an excellent break down the blind side by Australia. It's taken them 8 minutes to get on the board. But almost inevitably, it was David Campese, the master finisher, who completed it for Australia. It was a lovely run by Far Jones. Good support from Marty Roebuck. Lovely sidestep by Roebuck. Loose forward, Willie Offengarwe was there. And then David Campese had a lot of work to do. Stood up as winger Martin Teteran and then kept crabbing inside. And with a little bit of assistance from one or two of his forwards, David Campese scores Australia's first try in the game.
It was super, the backup support play, because when Roebuck came through, Campese was being blocked by his winger, and Offengarwe came in support on the inside and then created the try. And there's lots of Australian jerseys all around available for the pass.
So the world record try scorer scores Australia's first try. Now this is the world record holder for points in Test rugby, Michael Lynagh. Up to this point, 623 points in his 47 tests. Today, test number 48. But he's pushed this one away to the left. So Lynagh doesn't convert the try scored by Campese. But it is a 4-0 advantage to Australia. And we've been going now 9 minutes in the first half. Arbizu from halfway. First time really Australia have stretched their legs in the back line, and it's fairly ominous for Argentina that there were so many players able to break tackles. Tim Horan hasn't seen too much action out at second 5/8 yet. He is a quite brilliant defender, Tim Horan. We'll see more of him as the tournament progresses. Troy Coker has come up close in the line-up. Behind him is Rod McCaw at the two lock forwards. Here's one for Argentina, though. Lovely pass by Camadon, but Arbizu didn't run onto it. It was knocked on by Laborde. Referee playing advantage here. And it'll be an attacking scrum once more for Australia. Argentina have a good record against Australia over the years. And they have won test matches in 79, 83 and 87. So the Australians will be just a little wary as Eales works it again. Off and Galway goes again. Good tackle put on him though by Garaton, but Australia carry it on. But Poitevin trying to take the pass from Eales, lost it forward. But the Australian loose forwards working well together, Jamie.
Absolutely, it's the second back row move they've done, working right to the right-hand side of the field. And Offengawi and Eales and Poitevin looks as though, even though it's a new partnership, we'll be getting together.
Argentina have been defending right throughout this game so far, and offside this time. Simon Poitevin, the man who was offside. Spiraled away downfield. Nicely taken by Far Jones. Campese off again. Beautiful run by Campese, looking to link up with Offengawe. Ball coming rather slowly for Far Jones. There it is now. Across the line, Roebuck is in. Horan takes the pass. 10 metres out in Argentina's territory. Little jab ahead by Nick Far Jones. And that is a lovely kick by Far Jones. It's not in touch, and Del Castillo did well. But the whistle has gone. And the referee, I think there might have been a little bit of shepherding going on there. Australia have taken it quickly, not looking for the kick at penalty goal. Charging towards the line, I think it's Coker there. Ball is available for Far Jones, but referee Bishop has decided to take the scrum. So it's been all Australia in the first 12 minutes of this game. Argentina, it's hard to remember them being in Australian territory at any stage.
They haven't settled at all, Argentina. Australia are making all the play. Nick Far Jones has got his forwards going forward all the time. It was quite unlucky there, Argentina getting penalised for obstruction. But if Australia were to score again now, I think there could be a few more points coming their way.
The little man on the right wing side, Martin Terran. Let's hope he gets a chance to run, because he is very, very fast. But he'll be in a defensive role here as Australia attack close to the line. Scrum starting to screw a little bit, taken out of the back by Eales. Australia pushing on, but accidentally offside against Australia. They drove into players who were ahead of them. Pablo Garaton misunderstanding the call from Dave Bishop. He took a quick tap kick and was off, but in fact the call was for a scrum. So once again a defensive scrum. And Australia pushing hard here. Ball loose near the line, and it's into the in-goal area. Or is it? It'll be a 5-metre scrum, I think. It was partially charged by Offengawe, in fact. And it is touch and goal. So the pressure once again from Australia. Referee having a word with Mendes and Mackenzie. Mendes on the loose head side for Argentina. Mackenzie, Ewan Mackenzie on the tight head side. A word about the binding from referee Bishop there. So now Far Jones. Australia hammering away here. And that'll be against the captain, I think. Quickly taken by Far Jones, or is it? No. He's going to kick the goal instead. The man offside was in fact Jose Santamarina. And so here's a chance once again for Michael Liner. And there was Santamarina diving in, and he was in an offside position. And Far Jones has decided, after looking at the options, that Liner will kick the goal.
I think he's quite right too. Settle it down a bit. They may well have gone over from a quick penalty. There's no urgency yet in terms of time. Go 7-0 up. Give Liner some more practice, because he may need it with these balls over here. And they're quite happy settling down with that. Argentina have somehow got to find a way of winning ball. At the moment, they're not in the game at all. And they've just got to somehow get down to Australia's half.
That's a better kick by Liner. So that's his first goal of the 1991 World Cup. Failed to convert the try scored by Campese, but now kicks a penalty goal, Michael Liner. Australia ahead by 7 points to 0. And it's been 15 minutes into the first half, and Argentina really haven't fired a shot as yet. Crowd at this lovely little ground here at Stradey Park, watching the kickoff. Down it goes for Liner, and he's given that a decent hoof downfield. A lovely kick by Liner. Martin Tiran with it. An elusive little player. It's been snapped up here by Phil Kearns, and away goes the Australian hooker, Phil Kearns. Cleverly stayed in field. 22-metre line in Argentina's territory. And here's another chance for Australia. Up it goes to Offengawe, hard man to put down. Charging onto the pass was Coker. Now it's Poitevin. This is impressive play from Australia. Tony Daly is 5 metres out. And a penalty. Argentina went in over the top. And this is an impressive start from the co-favourites for this World Championship, Australia. And that, I think, tells the story, doesn't it? About 80% territorial advantage goes to Australia. And here is Michael Liner, just a couple of minutes after kicking a penalty, lining up yet another.
Good to see the big boys, the front row, very much involved there. Good run by Cairns. Tony Daly gets on the act as well. Showing good support play, good hands. Quick ruck. Would have been a bit quicker if Nick Farr-Jones could have kept up with it all. And off they go again. And Offengawe, I mean, he really is going to take some stopping from the whole tournament.
Argentina having real trouble stopping this rampaging Australian forward pack. And Tony Daly really pinned his ears back, and he went. And Argentina killed the ball. And Liner is once again in a handy position. No problems once again for Michael Liner. 2 penalty goals inside 2 minutes. And Australia already out to a 10-0 advantage in this game. And we've been going about 17 minutes in the first half. So Argentina shocked by this early onslaught from the Australians. Haven't really been in the hunt up till now. And it's been knocked forward by an Argentinian player this time. The Pumas appear to be holding their own in the scrums, but that really is about the only facet of the game they are. Bar Jones just out from the 22. Back for Liner. And Liner not finding touch, but he's gained a lot of ground here. And the clearance made by Guillermo del Castillo, another one of the inexperienced Argentinian players, having just his 4th international, 2 against New Zealand. And Argentina did award caps for their match a few weeks ago against Chile, which they won by 41 points to 6. Camadon. Diego Cuesta Silva gets into the act. Good looking kick by Cuesta Silva, chasing through, and it's been thrown away by Australia, and Cuesta Silva cleared it well. Argentina having their first real foray now. Popped up for Santa Marina, number 7. Good run here by Santa Marina. 10 metres out from the Australian line. Argentina have a real chance here if they can clear it quickly. Camadon. Arbizu with a drop kick. Argentina on the board. Lissandro Arbizu, who drop kicked 2 goals against Chile, has given Argentina their first points in the 1991 World Cup.
Marty Roebuck had the responsibility of catching the high ball, failed to do so, and it left Argentina going forward. They won a couple of rucks, they showed good hands, ability to beat people, and they've got the 3 points on the board.
Liner with the restart for Australia. So that will be heartening for Argentina. Halfway through the first spell, they've had to withstand a real onslaught from Australia, who have played most impressively in that first quarter of the game. But Argentina have proved that if they get themselves into an attacking position, they can score points. That was a lovely leap by Pedro Sporleda. But too many players in the line-out for Argentina. A technicality, so it's only a free kick. Australia take it quickly and away they go again. Bar Jones waiting for the second phase. Ball pops out nicely for him. Liner. Oppengawe standing out there. Lovely tackle made by the captain Garreton. Now Horan up for Roebuck. Good solid defence in centre field, and now it's kick and chase. Argentina can't get ahead downfield, and into Australian territory they go.
Marty Roebuck's maybe the best of times at the moment. He got very much a hospital pass here from Tim Horan. You've got man on ball went to ground, and Argentina quite rightly hacked on, and they're now beginning to force a bit of pressure. That drop goal for Argentina would have also been a reminder to Australia that there's not going to be an easy path for them.
So Australia have had 3/4 of the possession in this game. Australia using Troy Coker at number 2 in the line-out, and Rod McCall in the middle. He jumped at 2 in the test matches against the All Blacks, but of course John Eales has gone back to number 8 in this game. So the Australian lineouts have moved round a little. Now Del Castillo looking for Cuesta Silva, who's looked quite dangerous on the ball, but it's partially charged by Little. And Rob Edgerton back for Little. And a thumping tackle made by Hernan Garcia Simon, which saves the day for Argentina. They got themselves into trouble once again and had to extract themselves with some very solid tackling. The charge was made by Jason Little, number 13, and it was nicely snapped up by Rob Edgerton. Little stayed with him, but then a crashing tackle there by number 12, Hernan Garcia Simon, and that snuffed out that.
Gladly, Coker and McCall right to the front, and Eales, first 3.
So a free kick this time goes to Argentina, and Australia this time infringing. So referee Bishop from New Zealand is policing the lineouts. The man who has scored the points for Argentina, Lissandro Arbizu. But the pressure remains on Argentina. Australia have had most of the possession. They've certainly had a huge territorial advantage. Martin Terran on the right wing side has been seen only so far in a defensive role. Ball loose, referee playing advantage here. Argentina And they do get some advantage. There's a nice clearing kick from... He's just 20 years of age. The Belgrano club in Buenos Aires, Lissandro Arbizu. So the game's starting to settle down into a bit of a pattern now. There was a real harem-scarum start by Australia, but there could be more points coming now as Argentina pushed in the line-out, and this will give Michael Liner yet another opportunity. He's already kicked 2 penalty goals, Liner, to land yet another one. 10 points to 3. And Dave Bishop, the referee, explaining to Pablo Garreton that there's too much pushing going on in the lineouts.
Argentina have really created their own problems. They had a wonderful chance to clear their lines from a long liner kick. Took far too long about it, and therefore they've stayed in their own half. And at the lineouts, they're struggling to get the ball. They're infringing, and quite rightly, they've got a penalty against them. And I'm afraid with this sort of chat against you, you don't give penalties away in your own half.
Michael Liner from Brisbane, known to his teammates as Noddy Liner. Fantastic point scorer. And this time he's astray, so that's unusual. Liner walks away to think about it. He had an off day in the second test against the All Blacks just 3 or 4 weeks ago when he could land just 1 from 7. And so far today it's 2 from 4. 10 points to 3, Australia leading. And a man in front. Well, that should never happen at this level of rugby.
Absolutely not. It's absolutely critical that you stay behind your kicker. And scrummage now middle of the field. Australia can go either way. And I'm sure we'll see the back row involved again.
Jones feeding quickly. Eels looking to take it out. Good run from Eels. Poitevin charging on. The hard man of the Australian loose forward trio, Simon Poitevin. But generally speaking, Argentina's defence has been pretty good. Australia have scored just the 1 try so far. But in that try, there was some weak tackling. But since then, the Argentinians have worked on their tackling. And Australia haven't been able to get through. Again, Eels to take it out of the back. Australia using that move like away goes Far Jones. Campese was there. Up and go away, but it's been taken away by Jose Santamarina, number 7. And Argentina have it back to Arbizu. And it nicely cleared. So it's all about ball retention, really. And Australia coughed it up that time. And Argentina have cleared.
Argentina have defended well since the Campese scored the try. And they're holding on for grim death at the moment. If they can hold on a bit more and just somehow win some more ball and spend some time in the Australian half, they can put some points on the board.
Referee's talking to the Argentinian captain. Meantime, somebody threw the ball in rather too quickly. Dave Bishop asking Pablo Garreton for his team to keep the gap in the line out. Phil Kearns with the throw. Argentina have one here. Referee was playing advantage though. Argentina rely very much on German Janis, number 5, for their line-out possession. They're the sort of country, Jamie, that's relied a lot on the set pieces in the last few years. Fairly strong in the scrums. Here they are setting up a rolling maul. 15 metres out from their own 22, and Australia getting in low, packing in hard. But Argentina get the put into the scrum. So they have concentrated a lot on their scrummaging and on their lineouts, and their scrum certainly is an area that is very strong.
Absolutely, they should be able to get their own quality ball from the scrum. And it's important they don't have too many scrums down here, and they can get some attacking scrums. Because, as we say, Mendes and Cash are very strong. That's
another example of the scrum. Now, Australia's not an easy scrum to shove back, but look at that. Good, strong, solid scrum, and Arbizu has plenty of time to get his kick away downfield. And Roebuck misjudged it, and it's back to Campese. And his kick is not too flash either. Coming forward to meet it, Diego Cash, and it goes off the boot of Pedro Sporleda.
Marty Roebuck is certainly struggling in this half. He's missed 2 high balls. He had plenty of time to get that ball. These balls do move a lot in the air. It sounds very strange. It sounds like a cricket ball. They move a lot in the air, and you've got to be very careful with them.
German Janis. Magnificent line out forward. Farr Jones, a bit of a rough pass across to Horan, but Horan has room to move. Standing nicely in the tackle. Look, hasn't gone to ground as yet. Argentina had trouble getting him onto the ground, and Australia get the troops around him. Now Liner feeds it up to Roebuck. Hit in a good tackle. The kick ahead is made by Jason Little. Del Castillo didn't read that too well either. Came off his boot and cleverly extracted himself from trouble. Guillermo Del Castillo from Rosario. And a nice clearing kick for touch. So both fullbacks just having trouble reading the flight of the ball. The kick ahead was made by Jason Little, and if anything, Del Castillo was done by the bounce. Picked it up, or didn't pick it up in fact. It hit it against his leg, and then with some nice sidestepping got out of trouble. Now back live, Australia having a go here. Tim Horan, hard man to put down Tim Horan, and here's the second try coming up, and it's scored by the brilliant second 5'8", Tim Horan. Explosive pace from Horan. And Australia out now to a handy advantage, 14 points to 3. It really is a great find for Australia. Lovely little pop over the top by Liner, and Horan got through a feeble tackle by Camadon and then stretched the legs, and Diego Cuesta Silva, who's not slow himself, couldn't pull him in, and Tim Horan has try number 2 for Australia.
Here we go, we can see the original line-out, which presumably goes right over the back, goes long. Farr Jones takes it short, and then Liner and Horan do the rest. And it's a killing blow, that crucial blow for Australia. They've now got a good 10-point advantage, 12-point advantage, and Australia should probably go now from strength to strength.
Tim Horan scores his 5th try in Test matches and just his 12th international. He really is a complete footballer, a brilliant defender, and a punishing runner with the ball. No problems there for Michael Liner. So Liner has kicked 8 points so far in the game, and Australia with tries by Campese and Horan lead by 16 points to 3, as we see once again the pace and the power of Tim Horan, and there was no hope of Argentina stopping that irrepressible charge. And Horan scores Australia's 2nd try, 16 points to 3, and about 8 minutes out from half-time. Hope you're enjoying the coverage from Stradey Park in Llanelli. Australia making a fine start to the match. Little kick through by Arbizu. Now here's an opportunity for Argentina. Martin Teran. And yes, the try awarded. What a great reply by Argentina. A nice little kick through by Arbizu. And the little bloke from Tucumán, with all the pace on the right wing side, snapped it up. And to the great delight of the Argentinian supporters, has scored Argentina's 1st try at the tournament. And it all came from the kickoff. The ball bounced loose, and Arbizu snapped it up and put this lovely little cross kick. And Teran, who can really scamper, snapped it up, and he got there. Touch judge Keith Lawrence said yes, it was down, it was in. Dave Bishop, the referee, took the call, and Arbizu got the try. At least Teran got the try.
Yes, it's very touch and go. He did totally want to gather it in, and Keith Lawrence, as you say, the touch judge, made the decision for the referee. I'm not sure he did ground it. I'm not sure that's with the full force that it should be. But Keith Lawrence certainly said to Bishop, David Bishop, the referee, it's okay, and he ordered it, because I presume that David Bishop was actually blinded by the move.
Del Castillo from a long way out. And he can't convert the try. Scored by Martin Terran. And so 16 points to 7. There's been plenty of scoring in the first half. 34 minutes gone, so Liner with the dropout. Temadon. And the familiar cry of the Argentinian supporters, ole, 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 as the kick goes from Far Jones. A little bit of indecision. And will this kick find touch? Nobody can find touch, it would seem. Now Roebuck on his own 10-metre line. What can he do? Not trying to find touch. Kick and chase this time. Taken by Santa Marina. And Australia were outside the 10-metre circle, or inside it, in fact. And so the option was for the kick where the ball landed, or the scrum where Roebuck kicked it from. And so Argentina have a chance to, for one of the few times really in the half, go into Australian territory. 16 points to 7. Off the back, Carreras, Camadon, Arbizu. And that's a dangerous tackle made by Willie Offengawe. It was a desperate tackle. Argentina made a good move on the blind side. There was some nice little interpassing there. Pablo Garreton asking his goal kicker. Let's have a look at this tackle, Jamie.
Yes, it was definitely high. He's gone at the neck, which is not permissible, and David was quite right to give the penalty, as is the captain of Argentina going for a kick a goal, because if he slots this one over, it's 16-10. They're in that 6-point gap, and it'll be a great boost for them towards the end of the first half, because really I don't think territorially Argentina have been in the game. But now they've got a chance to only be 6 points behind coming up to half-time.
So Del Castillo, quite a long way out here. He's not going to get the distance. In fact, it's away to the right anyway. Argentina have a bit of a problem with goal kicking. Since the great Hugo Porta retired, they haven't really had an established goal kicker, apart from Hernan Vidu, who has been injured for most of the season. Del Castillo runs away again. Pumps a nice little kick downfield. Far Jones gets across, and Roebuck puts it onto his left boot. And that's a prodigious kick from Marty Roebuck. And he didn't really seem to give that a big whack, but it's gone all the way down into the in-goal area. And Argentina take it back to their 22. Marty Roebuck, in just his 5th international, he's burst onto the international scene this season after having been around the Australian first-class season for a number of years. Didn't play at all last year, 1990. He was injured, but he's been playing in Sydney and New South Wales representative sides for quite some time. Arbizu drops out. Grabbed in nicely by Mendes. Argentina proving pretty competitive since that first 20 minutes or so. Good clearing kick by Diego Cuesta Silva. Now this really is an experienced player at 28 years of age. A doctor specialising in cardiology, and a man who has been on any number of overseas tours. In fact, he's been to New Zealand 5 times. Australia calling the short line out. Popped up by Liner. Another crunching run by Offengawe. Troy Coker. Australian forwards all very good with the ball in hand. Now Far Jones puts the little kick away downfield. Cuesta Silva let it bounce, and chased by Campese. It's going to be a 22 dropout, 5-metre scrum. Took it back. Always dangerous to let the old footy ball bounce, Jamie. Yeah,
good positional kick, and again good chasing. Campese, he's always been a good chaser, and you'll see his feet are just to the field of play, and therefore when he had the ball, 5-metre scrum.
Taken off the back by Eels, looking again for Offengawe. Nicely snapped up by number 4 Troy Coker, crunching on. Some punishing running here by Australia. It'll be a scrum. Referee Dave Bishop is not happy about the number of players diving in over the top. In fact, he pointed to one from each side there.
I think Gareth Tom was lucky not to be penalised. He went straight over the top of Troy Coker.
Australia have scored 2 tries in the game so far, Campese and Horan. They lead by 16 points to 7. They've tried to work a lot of moves from the base of the scrum. And getting very close to the line once again. Ball held up by Australia. Farr Jones having a go, but the whistle's gone. There was a forward pass there. The last pass to Nick Farr Jones was forward. And that saved us, at least saved Argentina from conceding yet another try. So it's a defensive scrum now. Gonzalo Camadon. Another good scrum by Argentina. Held in the back by Carreras. This is impressive scrummaging. And I think this would come as a surprise to the Australians, who pride themselves on their scrummaging ability. But unfortunately for Argentina, they made a mistake and knocked the ball on. Not too far away from half-time here. Australia will be keen to score just on the break. There it is now, Farr Jones. Away to Campese, runs himself into trouble. Now off and Garway. Slips it back to Eales. No real support there for John Eales. The Argentinians swarming in on John Eales. And that's good, solid defence once again by the Pumas. Well, Australia really have concentrated on using that back row. They haven't spun it wide much.
No, they haven't at all, and I think they're struggling in the scrums. They're getting wheeled a bit here. You'll see an Australian boot flying out here and being lifted.
Argentina have it. Camadon back to Arbizu, and he rather hooked that one into touch.
It's also with Argentina now holding their own in the scrums. The Australian back row will not just fly off every time it's not their ball, and they'll have to stay down now and give them a bit more respect.
A minute remaining in the first half. 16 points to 7, Australia leading. Beautifully taken in there by Eales for Australia. Still controlled by the Australian forwards. Now it's on the ground for Farr Jones. The backs are going to get a run this time. Popped up for Horan. The defence is solid in midfield this time. Tim Horan running into some solid defending. And that is half-time. Just as the ball emerges, referee Dave Bishop blows the whistle for half-time. So there is the half-time score. Australia leading by 16 points to 7 after they ran out to a very early lead of 10 points to 0. But Argentina, to their credit, have come right back into it in the last 20 minutes of the half. And so the second half underway between Argentina and Australia, 16 points to 7, and at the break, Argentina forced to make one change when they lost their hooker, Ricardo Laporte, as he was assisted from the field, and Mariano Bosch has come into the hooking position for his first test match. So now we go to the first line out of the second half, and Bosch gets to throw, and immediately Argentina win it, but it wasn't thrown straight. Pedro Sporlader, number 4, was the man who got up very high there. So I'm sure that Nick Farr Jones would have given the Australians a fair sort of rev up at half-time. They allowed Argentina back into the match in the final 20 minutes of that first spell. Farr Jones in after this one. Clears it for Liner. Liner with the early up and under. Going back after it is Cuesta Silva. Australia getting their forwards there fairly quickly. Cuesta Silva holds it up 10 metres out from the 22. And Australia will get the loose head into the scrum. Well, Argentina have a reputation, Jamie, of being a side that don't travel well. They play well in Argentina, but as they showed over here last year, they don't travel terribly well.
Absolutely not, and playing Argentina in Buenos Aires is a vastly different proposition than them on tour, as you rightly say.
Australia have an early attacking opportunity. Again, they're using their loose forwards. It was Simon Poideman who charged through up towards the 22. Nicely put up to Phil Kearns, and the big hooker sprinting towards the line, and that's a great try. scored by Phil Kearns. Big, powerful man that he is. And the Australian forward pack really got into gear there. The initial thrust made by Poitevin, and it was finished off by Phil Kearns. This was lovely work by Australia. Here is Kearns running onto it. He thumps out of the tackle of Camadon. He's still got a lot of work to do. Players coming across, but he's a big, powerful hooker, this fellow. And Phil Kearns, in his 15th test match, gets his 6th test try.
Yes, interesting again. Australia are persevering with the back row moves. Good presentation of the ball to Nick Barr-Jones. He obviously got a call from Kearns, I would imagine, and off he went. But it's interesting to see John Eales still there. He's getting around the field an awful lot, and he certainly is an impressive figure.
Phil Kearns has only been on the test scene for 2 years, made his debut against the All Blacks in 1989, along with Tony Daly. Liner has not converted the try scored by Kearns, and so it hasn't been a vintage kicking performance from Michael Liner. In the first half, he landed 2 penalties and a conversion. But Australia now have scored 3 tries in the game, 20 points to 7. The 2 big second rowers, Troy Coker and Rod McCall. Campese is going to try and open it up. Well, he's got a mind of his own. We all know that, David Campese, and he can see the funny side of it too. What a delightful character. And a man who doesn't worry too much about what A, his teammates think, and B, what the crowd thinks. Australia on their own 22. Powerful mauling by Argentina, and it was Carreras, number 8, who came rampaging away from that maul. And it was knocked on by Australia. So here is Argentina back on the attack. Big, powerful runners, these fellows. And it was knocked down by Liner. Garreton can't hold on to it this time. Referee says play on. Del Castillo. Ball loose. Being claimed by Jason Little, number 13. Rather a skittery period of play there. Neither side really able to retain possession.
No, and then the referee, fair enough, was trying to play advantage and keep the game flowing. But obviously with the collapsed maul there, he had to blow it up, and it's Australia's put in again. But it's just that Australia can keep possession very well in those close quarters, and twice we saw there Argentina struggling, knocking it on, fumbling it, and therefore not getting any momentum going forward. Unfortunately they're trying to play Australia's game at the moment, and I think they may be better off changing the plan of the game. I don't think there's any point really going around the fringes, and let's have a look at the centres or the wingers out wide.
They're big, powerful fellows, the Argentinians, very strong in the upper body, and when they do get the ball in hand in the close quarter stuff, they can punch big holes, and as we've seen, they can certainly scrummage. Jim and Janis, who was one of the stars of the Argentinian effort against the All Blacks in Buenos Aires a few months back. Taken out of the back by Eales once again. Little kick through by Farr-Jones. And coming through to meet it is Del Castillo, but the Australians got through very quickly indeed. Number 7, Willie Offengarwe, was there quickly. So was John Eales, number 8. Into the arms of Rod McCall. Australia could make something of this. That's the 22-metre line. Australia has the whole 8 forwards there. Good, impressive play by the gold 8. Once more holding it up. Argentina having trouble stemming the flow. Ball still held up. And it's going to be an Australian put into the scrum.
Good pressure by the Australians on that high kick. Left the Argentinians with very little option. This is now a chance for Farr-Jones, I believe, with a wide position on the left-hand side and a big open side to run the ball out.
Let's see if Australia do use their back line this time. Spa Jones frees it up. Here it is. Jason Little looking for his loose forwards. Eales is getting around the park extremely well. So's Poitevin. He's there too. Poitevin got turned though on the Argentinian side, and he didn't release the ball. That was good work by the Argentinian players. They swung Simon Poitevin, and he fell the wrong way, and he couldn't release it, or he probably could have, but he would have conceded possession. Let's have a look at this.
Yes, I mean, physical pressure. Look, number 5, just straight round goes Poitevin. Now that's where he has to release it, and then he tried to roll his body back over to provide the ball for his forwards, and that's what the penalty was for.
Some indication of the strength of the Argentinian players. Roebuck has it, releasing up to Edgerton. Edgerton has Oppengarwe, the big powerful side row forward. Phil Kearns has already scored a try in the second half. Australia away again. Far Jones up to Liner. Hit Horan. Swarming defence across field. Poitevin's there again. Australia can be very happy the way their loose forwards have played this afternoon so far. They've all been close to the ball. And another scrum.
Despite their size, Australia, they are mobile. Troy Coco, who's playing a lot at number 8, who's playing lock today, gets around the field well. Actually, the two big props. And it's been an impressive part of their game today, although they haven't really stretched it terribly wide so far.
Phil Kearns is the injured man. We've already seen Argentina's number 1 hooker, Ricardo Laforte, leave the field. Phil Kearns looks to be in real trouble here. Greg Craig, the Australian physio, was with him.
It'll be interesting here if Kearns does decide to go off with the scrum having been called for and the hooker off the field, what in fact happens, because there are different rules in different countries relating to this, but I admit at international level. But it'll be interesting what happens now. They'll have to get the doctor's clearance first, I believe, and let the replacement come on before they have the scrum.
Well, Dave Bishop has said that he wants a quick clearance here because he doesn't want to put anybody else in the front row. So David Nusafora will be the replacement player. This will be his test debut. But that's sensible for Dave Bishop. He's not keen on putting anyone else in there. And so he is waiting for Nusafora. So both hookers have left the field.
Yes, all right. It's a good decision by Bishop. That quite right. Absolutely, to hold things up.
David Nusafora replaces Phil Kearns.
It's tough for a new man coming on the field. He normally likes a bit of time to settle down. Unfortunately, now he's got to scrum straight away.
Yes, he's right into it. So Nusafora is in there. Bosch is in there for Argentina. Both hookers have been replaced. Australia work a move here. Oppengarwe looks for Poitevin. The loose forwards working well together again. You can see the goalpost there, just 10 metres out. And Australia again threatening the Argentinian line. And it'll be once again Australia's loose head into the scrum. $20 points to 7, Australia lead. Eales snaps it out. Far Jones under pressure. Once again, the Argentinian scrum pushing Australia, and it caused them to make mistakes. They were going backwards, and Eales and Far Jones didn't really find each other there. And Argentina have the scrum.
It's the first mistake they've really made in terms of back row moves, and perhaps now Nick Far Jones might decide to move it wide. I thought Poitevin came from an offside position there to dive on the ball, but he got away with it.
Campese back to Arpizu, left it fairly late to get the kick away, but gave it a reasonable nudge downfield, but not finding touch. Roebuck having a run now. Gave it across to Jason Little. Little's a strong runner. He got support from Far Jones. Eales puts his boot to the ball, and let's have a look. Bounced it out, did he? No. Well, Australia looked a little bit indecisive there. There were players running, but they were isolated.
Absolutely, and Roebuck wasn't quite sure whether to kick it up and under, look for his wings, look for his centres, and Eales finally decided to make the decision for him and boot it out.
Mariano Bosch, Argentina's replacement hooker, throws. Taken down by Garreton, up to Diego Cash. 10-metre line, Australia looming up. Now Campese working the blind side. Carreras, Cuesta Silva, kick and chase from Diego Cuesta Silva. Roebuck gets back, and he took it back too. This will be a 5-metre scrum. Good work by Diego Cuesta Silva, who nowadays plays on the wing for Argentina. Now this will be interesting. This is a 5-metre scrum. Let's see whether Argentina try and push the Australian scrum over the line. Here they go. Australia's collapsed it. Although it's screwed through 90 degrees, this will be a real test of strength.
I think also Australia probably purposely willed that scrum in fear of being pushed back. And the referee's going to spot that because it's illegal to actually pull a scrum round.
David Nusafora in the middle of the front row, replacing Phil Kearns. Argentina. Scrum starts to screw again. Referee playing advantage here. Australia have screwed the scrum deliberately, and the penalty to Argentina. Garreton has the ball. What's he going to do? Argentina running it up. And the penalty was against Federico Mendes, who was obstructing. He was ahead of a ball carrier, and Dave Bishop immediately has penalised Argentina. Yes, they do, in fact, and probably Diego Cash, number 3, was also guilty of the same offence.
Absolutely, getting right in front so the Australians couldn't tackle the ball carrier. So David Bishop was absolutely right. I think actually Argentina should probably take a kick goal and go back to 2010. But it's good to see them putting pressure on and playing Australia's half.
Diego Cash from the San Isidro club in Buenos Aires. So some relief for Australia as they clear their line. But Australia have really found Argentina a tough nut to crack in this game. At one stage it looked as though it was going to be a real runaway, but Argentina have come back strongly indeed. It's 20 points to 7. Lovely leap by Sporlader, number 4. Argentina now starting to win a bit of line-out ball as well, and they're dangerous in this situation. With those strong upper bodies they have, they can rip it away. Now Camadon to Arbizu. Laborde. Popped up nicely by Garcia Simon, but the ball falling loose for Australia. And the ball, in fact, was lost forward by Argentina, who so far haven't really played a very expansive game. Mind you, they haven't had a lot of ball.
Indeed, but they're beginning to win some line-out ball now, which is encouraging for them.
Bar Jones to Liner. Liner decides to go for a bit of a run. It wasn't a good decision. He ran straight into Garreton, but Horan was there to take it off Michael Liner. 10 metres out from the 22 in Australian territory. And it's too tight in there, and it'll be once again a scrum for Australia. Well, it certainly hasn't gone all Australia's way. They must have felt with their start after about 15 minutes that it was going to be one of those days where everything went right. But in fact, 16-7 at half-time, 20 points to 7 now. And one of their key men, Phil Kearns, off the field. Kicked through by Far Jones. Del Castillo having trouble with the rolling ball. Tries to get away, or trouble here. Australia hack it across field. Garcia Simon with the ball. Now Bizu tries to clear, but the whistle has gone. And now an offside decision here. Guillermo Del Castillo had trouble with the bouncing ball, then lost it in a good tackle from Roebuck. But it was offside play against Jason Little, who made the tackle coming from an offside position. And Argentina have cleared now inside Australian territory. Game 1 in Pool 3 of the 1991 Rugby World Cup. Australia against Argentina. Australia leading by 20 points to 7. David Nusafora. Lovely leap by Eels. Far Jones clears. Liner looking for a runner. And obstruction against Australia. Tim Horan called out for obstruction. Well, they look most indecisive once again, Jamie Salmon, out in the back line.
It did. They've left it so late to try and do a wide move, and for some reason they've done a wide move quite deep in their own half, or in the middle of their own half, which is hardly confidence for their backs. And I'm surprised they've left it so late to try something out wide. And that's twice now Michael Liner. The previous time he had a go, got caught. And here again, he doesn't really know who he's going to give it to. He's running straight across the field as well, which won't be helping the runners either side of him. And that's what the penalty was for. Man in front of him, therefore preventing the tackler coming in.
Number 12, Tim Horan, man called out. Chance here for Del Castillo. Looks a good kick. It is a good kick. Del Castillo lands his first goal of the day. And Australia's lead reduced to 10 points now. And they lead by 20 points to 10.
It could be a fascinating final quarter of the match, because Argentina have held on under severe pressure, and now they've got a great chance of running Australia very close indeed. And Australia are going to have to pull their finger out to make sure they're not going to have a scary match.
A lot of people have been predicting upsets at this Rugby World Cup. I don't think anyone would ever have predicted Argentina over Australia, and there's still a long way to go in this game. But Argentina have given a marvellous account of themselves so far. Ball bounces loose. Australia free it up quickly once again. Little lost it forward. Once again, solid tackling by the Pumas. And the ball bouncing loose. Bit of a scuffle on the ground here. Michael Liner not happy about something. Crashing with Mario Carreras, the rough, tough number 8. He's a rugged individual. There he is leading in the back of the scrum, the long black hair. Camadon. This time the scrum screws, held in the back by Carreras. But the scrum, in fact, has screwed too far for the liking of referee Bishop.
It was another unenforced error on Australia's part that's created this. And it's unlike them to have so many handling problems.
Well, Argentina have certainly picked up in the territorial area, but Argentina, at least Australia, have had twice as much ball as Australia. I'm not sure I got that right. Australia have had twice as much ball as Argentina.
Absolutely right, that's right. Australia are now just reverting to wheeling the scrums all the time. They've just done 2 on the trot, they're going again.
Camadon frees it up for Abisu. Looks to have given that a very good nudge indeed. This is the new Ugo Porter, if you like. At just 20 years of age. And I must confess that when the All Blacks toured Argentina, he looked a little bit slow, and perhaps has lost a bit of weight since then and has looked a lot better today. So 20 minutes remaining in the game. And it's 20 points to 10. Australia have called a short line out this time. That's interesting. Trying to vary it just a little. Popped up for Offengawe. He gave it up to Poitevin. The pass looked just a little forward. Poitevin, I thought, was slightly ahead. But anyway, down goes Far Jones. In there as the 9th forward. Looks like Simon Poitevin's going to have to take up station as the halfback, as Far Jones is well and truly tied up, but he's managed to get back into position now. This is good driving play by Australia. They have to free it. They do. Far Jones across for Liner. Looks a bit indecisive again. The ball goes loose. Here's Cuesta Silva. Chance for Argentina. Abisu. That's the 22-metre line in Australian territory. Argentina retain possession. And Liner takes it away. Whistle has gone. Accidental offside is the call against Australia. But here again is Michael Liner throwing an awful pass.
Michael Liner, the last 3 times he's tried to run it, has given away a couple of penalties or created this sort of situation and given the ball to the opposition. And Argentina are taking full advantage of it.
Argentina with a chance. Questa Silva's in the action again. Good solid tackle made on him. Arbizu. Kick and chase. But he's rather pushed it across field. Oh, it's not a bad kick at all. Rob Edgerton got and took it well. He's the former fullback for Australia. Well, not for Australia, but a former fullback for New South Wales. And he took it well under pressure. But Argentina were making the progress forward, and the crowd at Stratty Park starting to get a little bit excited as Argentina start to force the pace in the game with about 18 minutes remaining. Scrum fed by Camadon. Across for Laborde. Camadon. Oh, Terran, what a brilliant try. Absolutely outstanding. That was a brilliant move by Argentina, and Martin Terran gets his second try, and Australia in a bit of trouble. Have a look at this move. It was obviously well rehearsed. It was beautifully conducted, and Terran, inside he came, and the little fellow can really go, and the Argentinians celebrate as they get up to 20 points to 14.
Yes, it was very much like the All Black move yesterday, but watch the Australian back row. They all go wide. Eales goes wide, Offrangawe goes wide, Edgerton stays out, nobody stays in for the man coming in. There was 4 Australians covering the touchline, but nobody saw the winger coming back in. And Terran took it very well indeed. And there's going to be a great game on now, especially if this conversion goes over.
And it does. $20 points to 16. And all of a sudden, Australia find themselves in real strife here. Still about 16 minutes to go in the game. 2 tries today for Martin Terran, playing just his 4th international.
Lovely work try by Argentina. Again from back row move, but absolutely super try. And it's going to be very interesting now.
Well, Argentina really have got their tails up. Beautifully taken in there by Sporlada. Camadon. Down the touchline he goes. Roebuck in trouble again. Terran holds on. Edgerton runs into his own man, accidentally offside. Nothing going right for Australia. Edgerton thumping into Nick Farr-Jones, accidentally offside. And let's have a look. So Nick Farr-Jones will be saying some harsh words to the Australians. This is Martin Terran, the man who scored the try, or both tries in fact. He got in to try and make the tackle on Marty Roebuck and somehow received an injury there. But he's back in the action and running pretty freely too as Roebuck goes back. Lines up underneath this one. Does well, Roebuck. Couldn't afford to put that one down. Mixed day for Marty Roebuck.
Brought them back from man in front, I think. Terran in front of the kicker. Camadon.
Farr-Jones, once again the Australian scrum going backwards. Look at the pressure coming from Argentina. Eales releasing up to Farr-Jones. Good tackle by Carreras, but Eales has had a good game, and the loose forwards are there again. That's one of the heartening features of the match for Australia so far. Liner pumps the kick away downfield. Del Castillo waiting. Good challenge by Jason Little. Camadon grabs it for Argentina, but Australia getting there in numbers. This is a good solid reply by Australia. And it's fairly obvious that this crowd at Stratty Park are very much behind the Argentinians. They sense a bit of an upset. But referee Dave Bishop was quite right there in giving the scrum to Australia. They were making progress. So now Australia have a good attacking opportunity. Whistle has gone.
It'll be interesting what Australia do. It looked as though Michael Liner starting out quite flat. I would have thought they may go for a drop goal just to stretch it to a 7-point margin and get away from the danger zone of being within 6 points.
Farr-Jones away for Liner. Liner pops it up. Campese again. The brilliance of David Campese. 2 today for Campese, 24 points to 16. And the world record holder extends his tally to 42 test tries. And did he hit the line here or not? It was a lovely move again. We've seen a couple of glorious tries in this game. Liner popped it up. And Campo on the burst. No one touched him. Under the bar he goes. And Australia lead by 24 to 16.
There'll be an awful lot of relief for this try. Liner will be the most relieved man, having got the first move right for some time. But Campese took it super, and that's probably it. They're pretty relaxed now to be out in front now, only a few minutes to go. But all credit to Argentina for coming back.
Liner with the easy conversion, making it 26 points to 16, so the 10-point margin is regained by Australia. But we have seen some super tries in this game. So Argentina trek back to halfway. They should hold their heads high. About 12 minutes remaining in this game. Dave Bishop has just told Alessandro Arbizu, "You're playing well." No doubt that was a comment about the team. They are playing well too. This is a very competitive group. Pool 3, Western Samoa and Wales, the other two sides in the group. Argentina, I think, would have been ranked number 4 before the tournament. But I'm sure Western Samoa and Wales won't be able to take them lightly now. Arbizu pumps another kick up. This will come down near the 22. Taken in by Simon Poitevin. Ball bouncing loose. Claimed by Garreton. Nicely done. Camadon. Away to Laborde. Del Castillo. Laborde again. Ball is loose, hacked away by, or tried to hack it away, Campese. Argentina back in control of it. Mendes frees it up. Big charge by the captain, Pablo Garreton. Now Carreras. Arbizu with a drop kick. 2 drop kicks today for Alessandro Arbizu. It's 26 points to 19.
Argentina, a great credit to them for coming back and sticking in their job. The heads haven't gone down at all. They've hung it all the time. They're taking Australia on, even at close quarter play. They're staying on their feet. The hands have improved, and it's great to see. And another Arbizu drop goal. 7 points behind with 5-6 minutes to go, perhaps. They've got a chance still, and they believe it, which is the most important thing.
Great exponents of the drop kick. Argentinian players, Hugo Porta in his long career. Now, there was a little bit of obstruction there, and I'm sure the referee has picked it up. Might have been Rod McCall. Dave Bishop picked up offenders from both sides there. And he has decided to go for the scrum. So 10 minutes to go in this game. Australia not yet out of the woods. 26 points to 19. Eels again off the back. Again a mistake by Australia. And that's the key to it. I'm sure that Bob Dwyer will be most disappointed with the mistakes that have been made. Argentina, away they go again. Diego Cash. Up to Garreton, the captain, over halfway they go. Setting it nicely again. Here comes the strong runners. Carreras is a very strong runner. Up to Santa Marina. Arbizu. Spreading it wide this time. Del Castillo. Oh, lovely sidestep. Laborde. Cuesta Silva leaving Campese for dead. 22-metre line, Australian territory. And the crowd at Stradey Park loving it.
Absolutely terrific play by Argentina. Also, you've got to compliment Australia. Offer Ngawi, the loose forward, is one of the last men over there making a crucial tackle. There he goes in there and smother tackle so the ball can't be gone away.
David Campese was done like a dinner by Diego Cuesta Silva. This was a lovely body shift by Cuesta Silva. He's something of a veteran these days. Now look at this. Campo made a pretty feeble attempt to make the tackle. And it was up to Willie Offengawe to save Australia from that situation. 26 points to 19. Argentina already had a disastrous World Cup in New Zealand in 1987. They lost their first game to Fiji and never really recovered. And Liner has pushed Australia out of the danger zone. But Australia will go away from this game with a lot to work on.
Absolutely, and they'll realise the last two games of the group are going to be no walkover at all. And what Argentina have done is they've said to the other little boys in the tournament, you can compete with the supposed favourites of the whole tournament, or joint favourites of the whole tournament, which is marvellous for the tournament as a whole.
Bar Jones across to Liner. Now Horan. Arbizu in to make the tackle. A tackle well, Argentina. 10-metre line, Australian territory. Up to Liner again. And Australia really trying to steady things down a little now. Del Castillo inside his 22. And once again, a prodigious punt downfield. Guillermo Del Castillo has been around on the first-class scene in Argentina for a long, long time, but has only come into the international side this year. Lobbed in by Nusafora. Charging in was Simon Poidevin, the veteran Australian, playing today in his 55th international, but playing extremely well. Now Horan up to his club partner from Souths in Brisbane, Jason Little. 15 metres out from Argentina's 22. And to ground they go, and the moment that happens, the referee obliged to set the scrum. Well, this is heartening from Argentina's point of view, not only in this tournament, Jamie, but this is a very, very young Argentinian side, and given them another 4 years, they could become a very formidable international team.
Absolutely, experience counts an awful lot, and this today will obviously count an awful lot for them. And I think also the fact they are without question playing against Australia's test side. They've got their full 15 out and what they regard as their top side. And Argentina have done wonders. And as you rightly say, they've got the half-backs of 20 and 21 or something in that order. And they've done tremendously well in a pressure game, which an opening World Cup game obviously is. Especially when you're ranked bottom of the group, supposedly.
Exactly. Bar Jones. Once again, the loose forward's going to work a move. Eels fired a shocking pass across, but Campese snapped it up. Campese away again. Is this the caught there? It is from Little, and the try at least from Tim Horan. The Campese magic has done it again. Tim Horan gets his second try, but it was all David Campese. He hasn't looked all that good on defence today, but his attacking prowess has come to the fore. This was a brilliant run, and really it was a mistake by Australia. It was some shocking work and shocking passing by the loose forwards, but Campese from broken play was able to get his way through 3 or 4 tackles and a nice little shuffle by Tim Horan, and then he goes close to the post. That will be the game for Australia. They can't really lose it from here as Tim Horan gets his second to take it out to 30 points to 19.
John Eales, the Australian number 8, has had a very, very good game, but he has made 2 or 3 mistakes at the base of the scrum. And the longer this tournament progresses, those mistakes are going to pay for them a lot more dearly than Australia have today, and Campese got him out of that one. I think Australia will be a bit concerned about the makeup of Eales at number 8, having played lock all during the domestic season, and having Coke in the middle. They do miss Gavin an awful lot, their injured number 8.
Michael Liner converts the try scored by Tim Horan, 32 points to 19. I suppose on the positive side, Jamie, Australia, as we look again at this brilliant try, it was a shocking pass, you see, straight across to Campese. Now, I'm not sure it was supposed to go there, but Campese, with his brilliant acceleration, his ability to sidestep, flicked it up to Horan, and Horan had a lot of work to do himself, and that was a lovely try scored by Tim Horan. But on the positive side, Australia will probably argue that if you're going to play a bad game at the tournament, game number 1 is the one to do it in.
Absolutely right, because you've still got 2 other chances in the group. I think they'll be most disappointed with their back play today, and Liner's indecisiveness in terms of his calls and execution of the moves, and they haven't really spread the ball out wide and given Campese wide room on the outside.
Roebuck has his kick charge, but Garreton in fact charged across the line, which you can't do. So Roebuck gets a second shot at it. Just a few minutes remaining now. 32 points to 19. This has been a very good game indeed. Some lovely tries scored. Nicely taken in by Sporlader. Good support from Jose Santamarina. Maybe a last chance for Argentina. Arbizu, who's had a good game. Lovely little kick through by Arbizu. And has Argentina uncovered a new Hugo Porta?
I think he's got an awful lot of promise. And I think with Camardan, if those two can stay together, they're both only 20, as you say, and they could go a long way in the game.
Injury worries for both sides in this match. Ricardo Lafort off the field, replaced by number 17 there, Mariano Bosch, and David Nusafora to throw. He replaced Phil Kearns, who started the second half with a scintillating try. Beautiful jump by Janis. Argentina charging up towards the line. Edging ever closer. Dave Bishop positioning himself to have a look. No try. Ball held up off the ground. 5-metre scrum. Ball did not touch the ground, says referee Dave Bishop.
Australia will be very concerned that was their throw to the line out, and they lost it so comprehensively.
Chance perhaps for another pushover. Argentina good in the close quarter play, but they'll get another go at it here. 32 points to 19. High scoring match. Australia have scored 5 tries to 2. And Argentina here have a real good chance with their strong scrum, but Australia grabbing the initiative. Scrum to be reset though. Held by Carreras. Scrum starts to screw away once again. Ball still there. Well, this is a real test for the Australians.
It is indeed, and Eales and Opangawi are still beginning to hang off the scrums, and if Argentina can just get one initial shove going forward, but Opangawi more concerned about the blind side, they could get a pushover.
This time a good scrum hand in there, I think. The referee a bit concerned about the way that front row went down. He said that somebody could get hurt in there. And in fact, Mariano Bosch, the hooker, just feeling it a little. So this is about the 5th scrum close to the Australian line. Carreras holding. Carreras picks it up. Camardan is in there, so also is little Martin Terran. They're all in there having a crack at it. And Argentina get another put in. Well, maybe it's time to vary it, Jamie.
Yeah, maybe. I can't see exactly how much they've got on the blind side. They've got about 15 metres, just under 15 metres on the blind side, so they probably won't go there. I think they may bring a centre down the middle, but they're about a yard, 2 yards away. They may still hang on for a pushover, but right.
Free kick against Australia. They didn't engage in the scrum. So what will Argentina do? Tapped it quickly. Camardan, Arbizu, Garreton, right in centre field. Snapped up though by Little. Eales up to Liner. Australia running this one out. Roebuck. Good support from Horan. Poitevin is there with Horan. Australia moving up towards their own 22 now. And it'll be Australia's ball to the scrum. In fact, it won't. That is the end of the game. Handshakes all round as the crowd descends on the players. A very good game of rugby in Pool 3. Australia have finished up winning the match by 32 points to 19 after leading at half-time by 20 points to 7. Australia scored 5 tries in the game, 2 to Campese, 2 to Horan, and 1 to Phil Kearns, who left the field injured just after half-time. And the rest of the points came from the boot of Michael Liner. And Argentina scored 2 tries, both by the right-wing three-quarter Martin Tiran. Abizu drop-kicked a couple of goals, and Joel Castillo kicked a penalty and a conversion. 16 to 7 at half-time, 32 to 19 at full-time. And Jamie Salmon, that really was an excellent game of rugby.
It certainly was, and it's really got the tournament off the ground now. Yesterday's game, the opening match, wasn't a great spectacle. This game would have been enjoyed by people whether Argentinian, Welsh, English, New Zealand, didn't matter. You'd have to enjoy that game of rugby. There were super tries, as you say. Argentina, being the underdogs, still stuck to it. The crowd got behind them, and that's what it's all about. And Argentina will have done a lot for the smaller nations and other teams like Italy, perhaps, Western Samoa to a certain degree. We'll all know they can compete now against the big boys and something like Australia, who are tipped as one of the favourites for the tournament.